Welcome to another episode on English phonetics and phonology. Today we're going to look at the word that, which has two types of pronunciation, a reduced form and a strong form. So how do we know and when to reduce the vowel in that? When should we put a schwa in our transcriptions? And does that correspond to what people actually say? Well, let's have a look. So first of all, I'll tell you the rule. What you need to know is that it really depends on its grammatical category. If that actually corresponds to a demonstrative adjective or a pronoun, and these two are actually often referred to as deictic, because deictic, ça vient du digital, le doigt, and the finger, and so when that can actually kind of refer to some kind of finger, when that refers to some kind of finger pointing, as you can see here, ce truc-là, that kind of thing. And when that is an adverb that qualifies an adjective, I wouldn't go that far. Far is an adjective, and that, aussi loin, okay? Then it's going to be pronounced that with its strong form, so a full vowel. But if that is a relative pronoun or a conjunction, then that you can translate as qui or que when you translate that into French, then it's going to be reduced. You're going to have a schwa instead. But, okay, he told me that he was going to Paris. Il m'a dit qu'il allait à Paris. In some varieties of French, you can say il m'a dit il est allé à Paris. So in that case, you just omit the conjunction. But if you have a that in English, then just reduce it. And in some cases in English also you can omit it. So he told me he was going to Paris. Yeah, that's fine as well. Okay. Now let's have a look at a few examples, like exam questions that you're likely to have. So here are a few sentences that I took from a book. And it's generally the kind of exam questions that you have at university in France. So it is interesting to observe. So here, I'm just going to pronounce it with a strong form first. Observe that the two latter were both descended, blah, blah, blah. And then, can you translate that into que or qui in French? Observez que, les deux derniers. Yes. So the first one is going to be reduced. Next one, so let's say it. It was interesting to observe that the two latter, blah, blah, blah. Next is the Ganswords, so I think that sounds a bit Dutch to me. It should be said, were at that time and subsequently residents of Albany. That time, donc à cette époque-là, you can point it. You can say cette époque, là je la pointe, then it's going to be with a. It's not going to be reduced. That book was published in deictic, so it's not going to be reduced. It's going to be a, that. If hereafter I shall do anything that on the whole a man might rather have done than to have left undone, then you can say it's qui. Que, alors, I shall do anything that on the whole, je ferai n'importe quoi qu'un homme, blah, blah, blah. So you have this kind of que again, which is a relative pronoun here, and it's going to be reduced. I fancy that it was the reading of Richard Henry Darner's 2 Years Before the Mast, blah, blah, blah. Then here, what do you have? I'll give you a few minutes. Is it going to be reduced, or is it going to be with a strong form? Yes, it's going to be with a weak form because it can be translated into something that sounds like k, and it's conjunction, so it's going to be reduced. So that's it for that. That's it for that. So in that case, you're going to have a strong form here. So bye-bye.